The story is Farbrengen, the Gimmel Tammuz. Let's stand a little bit, trying to get into what does Chassidus want. So the Torah tells us that Vayishma Yisrael, that Yisrael came. There was a Kohen Midian. He was a very important person, and he came to the Midbar to be with Moshe Rabbeinu. Now the Gemara says, Rashi brings it down. It says, "Vayishma Yisrael mashmu Shlomo ba." What did Yisrael actually hear? Because they'll tell us that Yisrael heard Tzias Mitzrayim and Milchemes Amalek. So the Pashtus, simply what this means is that he heard that there was Tzias Mitzrayim. That inspired him to want to come to the Midbar to see what happened with the son-in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu. So what does it mean that he heard of Milchemes Amalek? So Milchemes Amalek could be, should say, if he heard the miracle, this is what he heard, then it should say the victory of Amalek. What's Milchemes Amalek? That he heard that there was a war with Amalek. What this means is that sometimes you can know something and you can know it intellectually, you can understand it even. It doesn't necessarily mean that you live it. Rosh Shivcha Layam, Chazal tell us that even the Shivcha in the waters, like Yamsuf, was able to experience even higher than what Yecheskel, Gadol HaNeviim experienced. To say Zek Kelev Anveyu. But she's still called a Shivcha. You would think that Rav Shivcha Layam, she was a maidservant, and she saw the Gila Lekus of Yecheskel higher than Yecheskel, then she shouldn't be longer considered a Shivcha. Say Rav Shivcha Layam, and then she became a Neviah. And Chazal don't say that. It says she's still a Shivcha. What does it mean? It means that you can still remain a Shivcha. You can see a Lekus, and you can see everything with your eyes. It appears to be wonderful and transcendental and higher, and you can still remain a Shivcha. And the proof is the story of Yisrael, that what did he hear? He heard Tzias Mitzrayim, and he heard Milchemes Amalek. He heard that even after Tzias Mitzrayim, there's still Milchemes Amalek. Amalek still is not convinced. You would think that Oz, by the Shira that by Kriyas Yamsuf and Matan Torah, when the whole world, it wasn't even an echo, the whole world heard Aseres Adibris, you would think that Amalek would not attack Klal Yisrael. But what does Amalek do? Milchemes Amalek means someone that's cold, curious, someone who lives with Amalek, they can see and they can hear the most amazing things in the world, the Gila Lekus, the revelation, and yet they can still attack Klal Yisrael. And this is why Yisrael comes. Why does Yisrael come to the Midbar? Because Yisrael decides that if you really want to be transformed by an experience, can't remain a spectator. Because if you remain a spectator and an observer, you can see Matan Torah, and you can see Kriyas Yamsuf, and you can see the biggest miracles, and you can be mamish higher than Yecheskel, and you can see more than Yecheskel Hanavi. But 5 minutes later, you can go to Muhammad Hanavi. This is the problem, because it didn't permeate, it didn't transform the person. It didn't go from a place where information is the information, there's the ideas, and then there's the oil, light, the moishaba. So I'll talk about the moishaba machzir l'muta. There's the moishaba Torah. The moishaba Torah is the light that exists in Torah. So you have to be connected to the oil. Connect to the oil. This is what Chassidus generally came to story that the Maggid of the Mezrich, when he came to Baal Shem, the Maggid was a big Gaon. He was a Talmud Yeshua, and he was suffering with his leg. He limped a little. And someone told him that if he goes to the Mezrich, there's a tzaddik, Baal Shem, and Baal Shem can heal him. But he was very skeptical. He was a very rational person, and he was skeptical of Baal Shem's. And he didn't want to go. Akitzi, he ended up going. And he was by the Baal Shem for Shabbos. And he saw, but he wasn't so impressed. And Motzei Shabbos, whatever, Sunday, he was leaving. And the Baal Shem told his Talmidim to call him back, and he should come to his room. So the Maggid said, okay, fine, you want to talk now, come. So the Maggid came into the Baal Shem's room. And the Baal Shem asked him, if there's anything that you don't understand, if you want to ask me. Something, a shiloh you have. He said, okay, I don't think this person is going to have the answer for me, but, So he pulled out a Zohar, and he said it's a shver Zohar, and he can't understand the shtickle Zohar. And he asked around, and no one can give him a good teretz. If you're up to this, maybe you can give me a good teretz as a shtickle Zohar. And the Maggid says that the Baal Shem started talking, and all of a sudden, the Maggid felt that everything that it says in the Zohar that the Baal Shem is speaking about became alive. Baal Shem was talking about, the Zohar talks about Oiris, he saw lights. He was talking about Malachim, he saw Malachim. The whole room became filled with Kedusha, filled with a nafshistic experience. Then he said, this is Taka my Rebbe, this is going to be my teacher. And he stayed committed to Baal Shem and became a chassid. Because the Torah of Baal Shem, the Torah of Chassidus, is the Torah of the Nefesh. And it's trying to take everything that it says up until Baal Shem, up to Chassidus, and it turns it into the Nefesh Adam, what it means to live the experience. Chassidus there's a difference between a Rav and Talmud and a Chassid and a Rebbe. What's the difference in a Rav and Talmud and a Chassid and a Rebbe? That the Rav is Melamed Torah, and Talmud's Mekabel Torah. So the Rav is transmitting, in the Messiah of Torah, is transmitting the transmission of the information. And you have to have a Messiah to understand what is the correct information. The Talmud is Mekabel from his Rebbe, from his Rav. What's a Chassid? What's the definition of a Chassid? A Chassid, the Pshat, according to the Pshat, making the Gemara understands a Chassid. A Chassid is Oisim of Nimishur Sadin. Someone that goes with Nimishur Sadin. That is the Midas Adin. Din you get from your Rav. A Talmud needs to know what's the din. Shnai is in the talis. What's the halacha? So you have a Masoyer, you ask your Rebbe, and your Rebbe taught you the Mishnah. Now you know what to do. Shnai is in the talis. This is the din, but then there's the Lefnim Mishras. What's the gather of the Lefnim Mishras Adin? The quality of the Mishras Adin is the Lefnim of the din. And the Lefnim, the Pnimis of the din, is the oil, is the light, is the Moish of the Torah. Is the Torah of the din. It says this is what you do. But then the Torah itself is a shtickle of kuz. Not just learning Steinwachs and Metalis because it's a nice idea. Reading Steinwachs and Metalis is this in Machshavta Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is where the Oyer Pnimi, Anon Nafshik Som is Yehovah's. Noich Hashem Lekecha. And Anon Nafshik Som is Yehovah's. The Eivisha said, I put myself into the Torah. Raisa put your Bechel Kul Echad. So when you learn Steinwachs and Metalis, what are you doing? Your Oich is in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is all the writes in Tanya. Okay. At Yichud Zeh, Yichud Niflon. Shen Kamoy Nimtza Klau. The highest gather of Yichud that a Yid can have a HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Torah. Because your Seichel is massive the Torah, so you're surrounded, and you're surrounded by it. It's a Yichud Niflon. So then you can ask, but that's by every Seichel. Every Seichel is like that. You're studying mathematics. You're studying a Dhamma Sichel, it's the same thing. It's also Yichud Nifla. No. Because when you're studying a science, an idea, that idea, there's a Yichud Nifla with that idea. But when you're learning Torah, there's a Yichud Nifla with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's not a Yichud Nifla just with the Seichel of the Torah. Because I know Nafshik Salvus Yehovah's, because the Eivisha put himself into the Torah, and there's a Yichud, which you're Bechel Slak, so when you're masik, Shnai Malchus and Metalis, you're masik the Seichel of the Torah, and you also have a connection, a deep connection of Dveikus with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. This is the name of the din. There's the din of Shnai Malchus and Metalis, and the pnimius of the din is the oil that's being revealed in the Shnai Malchus and Metalis. And this is what a chassid is. Someone that's connected to the Lefnim Mishras Adin. So what does a chassid receive from the Rebbe? The chassid receives from the Rebbe. The chassid receives from the Rebbe receives the oil Torah. This is why there's Imar Abdoim and Malach Hashem Tzedakos, Yivakish Torah V'Piyu. It's the gay of the Malachas and think the Rebbe is a Malach Hashem Tzedakos, and one of the Rebbe is a very smart person. Also, you should learn Torah. Does you have to be a Malach? You're not asking to do Chsadim, because that's the word. If you're trying to get information, so fine, whoever's the smartest person becomes the biggest role. But if you're trying to have vehicles, trying to connect with the missions beyond the din, then you need Rav Malach Hashem Tzedakos. This is what a Rebbe is. The Rebbe reveals the Oyer HaTorah, the Moish of the Torah, the connection. The person is a chassid, a talmud. The Rebbe is the connection that the person receives, a connection to the Oyer, to the light of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So in the Mela, we're sitting here close to Gimmel Tammuz. Obviously, we're connecting this. Gimmel Tammuz is the yard site. That's over here. Connecting discussions, tzaddikim, discussions, manasi. We try to discuss it to the Oyer, the wichtigkeit, the vekas, the feeling, the connection that we walk with, not just the information. That's why it's very appropriate to make the Farbrengen. Because the Farbrengen is not a Musa Shmuz, and it's not a Shir. It's very hard to be magder what exactly a Farbrengen is. I think it was the Rav Pinson once said, because one of the things that Chassidim did, they started the Farbrengen. So one of the tzaddikim said it's like this, that the reason why Chassidus started the idea of bringing the people to get together and share the Yisraelis is because if the Yetzer Hara hears that you're going to a shir, he'll say, now it's 9 o'clock, go to sleep. You know, you're tired, you have to work tomorrow, you have to learn tomorrow, a whole bunch of excuses. Saying going to Tammuz, the Yetzer Hara is always going to find a reason why not to go. Tell him, we're going to Farbrengen. What are you going to do, my friend? You're going to have cholent. Oh, cholent. That's not kugel. So a little schnapps. Why not? Why not? So the Yetzer Hara says, okay, as long as you're engaged, it's already, it's tricked into getting into this place. Now, once you're here, now we can do the whole, the whole thing. The Farbrengen is on the frame. It's a mystic thing. It's tricking the Midas Adin. It's like the Arvis Asati. There's the help that we should back and connect to this Farbrengen, generally connect the Moshe Torah, connect to the lawyer, make this, we should feel a little happy.